I'm Eric Novak, and coming up on this next review, I'm going to take a look at the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia Ti. For North American car buyers who tended to prefer the look and feel of European performance luxury brands, had some options that were mostly German. You had your BMWs and Mercedes and Audis and Porsches, and you had Jaguar as well over from the British side of things. But there were some other European brands that had been in North America some time ago, but have been missing for a great many years. Fortunately, in 2014, one of those long-time iconic brands, Alfa Romeo, has made its return to North America once again. It debuted with the 4C Spider, a two-door performance roadster, but in 2015 we saw the announcement that the Giulia, a mid-size four-door sedan, was making its way to North America as well. It is launched in showrooms as a 2017 model, and the Alfa Romeo Giulia Ti in an all-wheel drive format is the feature of my latest test drive review. So if you're someone who likes to stand out with the car that you drive, well, you're probably going to do pretty good if you choose to drive this Giulia, because there are some external design elements that overall really look unlike anything else that we have in North America for sports sedans. Probably the most distinctive design element here is the tri-lobe shield grille, and it has an absolutely distinctive look to it as well. It has some challenges though if you're putting it on the road, because given the low centered part of the grille here that goes right down to the bottom where you normally would put your license plate, I don't like how to do so if you live in a jurisdiction that requires a front plate and a back plate. They actually have to place it off to the side, and to me it doesn't look symmetrical or balanced. I actually live I'm in Ontario, and we normally do have front plates, but I'm actually driving a press unit with Quebec plates on, and they don't require it. So at least for my photographic and video purposes, it looks pretty cool. But overall, in terms of other factors, it's kind of a simplistic, rounded, not overly boxy, not overly sharp design with this car. It flows well. The 18-inch or 19-inch wheels here on the Ti have these beautiful, gorgeous red calipers on there, really distinctive and nice as well. On the back end, nothing too special, kind of rounded edges again overall, but it does have a very sort of a unique look to it, especially with the front end that, as I said off the top, looks unlike anything else we have on the road today here for European sports sedans. The interior of the Giulia Ti offers modern styling with some distinctive touches and just over 95 cubic feet of interior volume. Front seating offers 38.6 inches of headroom and up to 42.4 inches of legroom, although fully extending back leaves little to no legroom for anyone sitting directly behind you. The front interior design of the Giulia is clean and ergonomically appropriate. Operation of the interior controls involve a combination of tactile interfaces. North Americans who haven't driven a Ferrari will find the wheel-mounted touch start ignition button unique, which the Giulia borrows from its supercar cousin. The center console offers a series of rotary controls to manage the infotainment system as well as drive modes and volume. Fortunately, the climate controls are tactile, making it easier to adjust settings without having to search for touch menus on the center screen, as we see with too many other models nowadays. The 8.8-inch center widescreen is clear and easy to read with plenty of functions and information available within it. However, the sloping up of the front dash seems to limit the amount of space available for a center screen, and the end result is a viewing area that just doesn't seem to fit the eye right. It's definitely subtle, but during the entire week I drove this vehicle, I just never felt totally comfortable viewing the information on the center screen, but it's hard to explain why unless you're actually driving it yourself. But this car really is about driving, and that is something it does quite well. Perhaps the most endearing aspect of this Alfa Romeo Giulia is the drive, and this has been a fun vehicle to drive. The TI that I'm driving this week is powered by a 2-liter turbocharged direct injection 16-valve 4-cylinder engine, and it's just full of a lot of fun. It puts out 280 horsepower, but an impressive 306 pound-feet of torque, and this thing really does go. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is super fast. I have been quite impressed with how fast this automatic transmission is, and it's probably one of the reasons why this vehicle will get you 0 to 60 miles an hour, or just under 100 kilometers an hour, in 5.1 seconds. It really responds well. I almost compare it somewhat to the same feeling I had when I was driving the Mercedes GLA 250 with the AMG engine, because that had a 4-cylinder engine as well. I mean, I put a little more horsepower, but over 300, but it was just like this little pocket rocket, which is kind of the same sensation I get while driving this one as well. Fuel economy numbers for this 2-liter turbocharged engine in the Giulia is that it comes off at 9.1 liters per 100 kilometers, or 26 US miles per gallon combined. That's okay for a 4-cylinder. It's pretty good if you see this as a performance vehicle for the power and the torque that it offers. Perhaps one of the most compelling things about this vehicle, because of the speed and the torque that it gets, is that it is only a 4-cylinder engine, and it really sort of puts to bed the notion that if you want to have great performance, you have to have it in a 6. You really don't. It's one of those myths that's out there nowadays, and you're seeing what we're doing with 4-cylinder engines, and this is really proof positive of that. One driving component I'm not in love with here on the Giulia is the auto stop-start feature. A lot of the automakers are using this, and it's a good thing. I mean, to have the engine off during periods of idling, say stopping, starting in heavy traffic, that's a good thing. But the disruptive nature that they had in the beginning was something that people didn't like a lot. And you've seen the second generation of auto stop starts you're seeing with people from Ford or Honda or others. It's a lot less disruptive or noticeable. But with this one here, it's almost like the first generation. I just started it up again because I was idling, and there was a couple of times where it literally lurched me forward. So I'd love to see that become a little more refined as compared to some of the other stuff that's out there. Well, we do have the automatic transmission. For those who want to be more connected to it, there is the option to move it into sport mode, and you can shift by the gear selector, or you have these paddle shifters, which to be honest, they're probably the largest paddle shifters I have ever seen in my life. They are absolutely massive, and unfortunately that's one of the detriments, because it's actually intrusive. You actually have to go over top of these things to get to your turn indicator, to your cruise control, and to your wiper blades. So I'm not sure why they're as massively large as they are, but I really don't like that part of it. So this Giulia Ti comes with all-wheel drive, but it has a segment-exclusive active transfer case and a front axle disconnect system. What that does is basically seamlessly, without us being actively involved in doing so, it switches from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive, which is what the base model of this would offer. And it's really intended to maximize fuel economy. So you get your all-wheel drive when it's necessary, but it switches just back to powering the rear axle when efficient and able to do so, to again improve the overall fuel economy of the vehicle. The return of Alfa Romeo to the North American car market, to my mind, is a really good thing. While we have plenty of great luxury brands out there, European, Asian, and North American, I think the addition of the Italian, shall we say, dolce vita that we're seeing in the unique design language and styling is going to be something that adds a little more extra element to a segment that maybe sometimes get a little stagnant in its overall exterior design and appeal. I think while the Giulia has a couple of, quirks to to it that maybe can be refined to better suit the tastes and preferences of North American car buyers, I have to admit that this vehicle, even with the 4 cylinders that this thing offers, was probably one of the more fun driving experiences that I've had probably all year. And hopefully the distributorship of Alfa Romeo will continue to grow and expand to offer more people across North America the opportunity to pick up this vehicle. If you're in that sports sedan luxury mid-price market, don't overlook Alfa Romeo. If you have a dealership nearby, you might really be surprised that the Italians are back and you don't want to miss out. But that's it for this review. For EnviroDad.com, I'm Eric Novak. Thanks for watching. There's plenty of ways for you to keep connected with me, so check out some of my social media links, suggested videos, and I'd really love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel.